Hi again. So, I want to talk a little bit about what I hope for this surgery. I know that going into any surgery, there's a monumental amount of risk. So, um, I am by no means deluding myself into thinking that everything's going to go perfect and there won't be complications. There is a very large risk for complications and a very large risk that things won't be perfect. But I think the biggest thing is that, knowing where you're going and um, the doctors, if they're qualified, and having lots of referral. And one thing that I really like is that there is a Facebook group for Mexico Bariatric Center, and to get into it, you have to either be scheduled for surgery or going or have already had surgery. And I don't think that I can't know for certain, but I don't think that they take down posts that are negative, because I've seen a couple of posts that, people talked about not having the best experience. Sorry, just drinking my very first breakfast on the start of my weight journey. I've been trying all these different protein shakes, but this one everybody talked about, and it's 42 grams of protein. That's quite a bit, but it is Fairlife, and I do like it. The last one I tried was the vanilla, and it did make my stomach hurt a little bit, so I'm going to try this one and see how it goes. But it could just be, the large amount of protein. But I've read through, I've spent some time on the board, and not a ton of time, but I've spent enough time, I feel like, to see that the majority of people have an amazing experience. There is a small, very, very small amount of people who, have had complications. And one of the things that I had discussed with my family member that really helped push me over the edge to do this is that, because she works for my insurance company and she has for many years, and I had asked her, like, if I have a complication, am I going to be covered in the States? And she said, absolutely, like, everything, you'll be taken care of. You don't have to go back, none of that. But I have noticed by reading the boards that there are some people who have had issues in just that, the doctors wouldn't take it's not that the insurance wouldn't cover it, it's that certain doctors would not take the cases. So there is a risk there. I talked to my cousin, though, and she recommended a post-surgery doctor that she had seen that's in the town over, and she said, he was non-judgmental. And so I need to connect with him actually in the next week. I'll let you know how that goes. But yeah, so uh there's things to consider, like after surgery. Obviously everybody hopes for the best outcome and the best results, but there is always the risk that something could go wrong, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the fault of Mexico Bariatric. It could be just that, your body doesn't handle it well, or for whatever reason. And in the States, those issues could come up as well. And it's not like it's exclusive to Mexico. It's just that, for majority of us, like, we're not going through a lot of the steps that they go through, like, EKGs and follow-up doctor visits, and the, therapist, the counselor, and nutritionist. Now, the nutritionist from Mexico Bariatric did reach out to me, so I am communicating with her regarding, what things I should be eating during my pre-op, which again started today. And they want me on a 25% carbohydrate, 35% protein, and 40% fat macros for my caloric diet. And I'm tracking everything with MyFitnessPal, which I'll talk about that in another video. But my hope for this surgery is that everything goes excellently. and I come back, and like everybody that I know has had that experience, they just, they come back, minimal pain, no issues, just feeling great. I mean, obviously, like some challenges and hurdles to get through, through the liquid diet. There's a 2-week liquid diet at the end, after post surgery. And they struggled with the food, and of course the changing of the mindset of portion control, because if you eat too much, you're going to get sick or you might throw up. And some people throw up, some people don't. That's my, the communications I've had with the majority of these people, both online and in person that I know. Some of them say that they didn't have any issues, at all, no pain. Some said they had pain. Some said that they, could eat everything just fine, just couldn't eat a lot. Some people had, issues with different, certain foods being sensitive to them. And I'm fine with all of it. I can handle, and I have the coverage and the money to handle if I have complications after. And I have the support from my family, if I need help, and my work partner, if anything at work goes sideways and I am, struggling through a surgery, she'll be there to hold me up. So, having all of that support around me post-surgery is encouraging. And then but like in about a month after surgery, I should be able to start to put down, other types of food. So it's about a 1 month, 4 weeks of, a really restricted diet, like, 2 weeks of liquids, 1 week of puree, and then another week of like really, really mashed stuff, like that's not necessarily puree, but a little bit larger. And then, moving into that second month, you can start to try things. I mean, the biggest challenge is going to be like 30 minutes before and after. You cannot drink liquids before a meal. So 30 minutes before a meal and 30 minutes after, otherwise it could cause a stomach ache or hurt you. And you have to eat your protein first, so it doesn't slide through, and it's takes longer to digest, so it makes you feel fuller for longer. And so I hope that I overcome all these challenges with eating. I don't think I should have an issue. I've put myself on pretty extreme diets in the past, probably not healthy diets or healthy activities, but it's like, we've already done all that. So I'm not adverse to that in any means, by any means. So yeah, restrictive dieting has never been an issue. In fact, I think on diets that I've had in the past, it's been more like I needed to be careful not to end up with an eating disorder, because I would restrict myself way too much. I would end up, cutting. Well, I'm like, well, the scale's not moving, so of course, like, I need to cut out that apple, that kind of stuff. Patience isn't my friend. I will be honest. Like, I don't really have much patience, but I don't know. I think a lot of people struggle with that. So, I think that's where my therapist is going to come in and help me work through some of those emotional issues. But also, long term, that, from that month to that year out, I'm just looking forward to the changes, really. Like, I want to eat small. My appetite, one of the things that I've noticed about myself is, like, I do not seem to get full the way that other people get full. I can put down a lot of food. I also do not eat on a regular schedule, so I work a lot. I'm very, like, driven in my profession. And so, I'll wake up in the morning and I'm just not hungry, and I will go until 4 o'clock. If I'm busy doing stuff, like, I won't even feel hunger pains until 4, and then if I do eat, I want to have like some like 5-star Michelin meal, like, I want to have like really nice, good food, and I do like to cook. So, but those are some of the struggles. Like, I'm like, I don't eat that often, but I eat a lot when I do. And I don't feel full when I do. And like other people, what it would make other people feel really sick doesn't make me feel sick. And I don't know what that is. It could be, it could be slider foods, which is the bariatric term for foods that are not, they're just easily digestible, so they just slip right through your stomach and into your intestines, and so they don't provide that fullness feeling for a long time. I don't really eat a lot of slider foods, to be honest. Like, I mean, we eat steak, chicken, and really good yummy veggies, like, seasoned veggies. And um, I don't I try to avoid pasta. I don't have chips in the house, no cookies, none of that stuff. So, I mean, I will continue to live that way, but my portion control will change. And so that's something, that I feel embarrassment over, like wanting to eat so much. Like, why is the food still talking to me when I've slid the plate away, and it's like still like, eat me. And my brain just like will not shut up, and I just need to shut up. Like, I want that self-control, but it's like, even when I try to employ self-control, if it's there in front of me, I got to go to extreme measures to stop myself from, continuing to eat that rest of that half of that breadstick on my plate, at Olive Garden, even though, like, I've determined that I've eaten enough. Like I said, I don't feel full, so like I have to get to the point where I just go, okay, that's enough food, and like I'm like measuring my hand, like, oh, that's the size of my stomach, and that's exactly how much food will fit in there, so that's all I need to eat. And sometimes I do that, and it's just like, it's not having an effect on me. So I need the pounds to go down. I will look forward to not tacking on 4 or 5 extra pounds every year, just from eating the same stuff that I've been eating for years. And so that's, I mean, there's all the other stuff, like clothes. Clothes are awesome. It's more the vanity side of losing weight, like just feeling like you can buy something that you like rather than buying something because it fits. Somebody else said that, and I picked that up somewhere, and I really felt like that resonated with me. Was like, I don't have clothes because I love them. I have clothes because they fit me and they were decent, and that's why I bought them. And I maybe bought like 4 or 5 of them just so I had enough. Like, I don't like living like that, but um I think a lot of people are living that way. And I don't know if it's survival or, like I was just built differently. I mean, being heavy at a young age compared to other girls, like my daughter, she's built differently than other girls too. So and she's very, very physically active. I've gotten her involved in lots of physical activity, and I feed her well because I don't want her to go through the stuff that I go through. But even still, like, she's still built differently. I mean, super muscular, very, very strong, and very healthy, but she packs on the weight easily. And I have to be careful, like, what I allow, what I don't allow. And I've tried my best to teach her that, but I'm hoping to do it better by living by example. So that's another big side effect of doing this surgery, is just being able to show her how to live, what it looks like. And it makes me sad that I have to do it with surgery, but I'm not. I mean, I want to live the next 40 years of my life, so I have to do this. I do not want to. It's when I talk about, like, not wanting to touch other people when I'm sitting in an auditorium seat or an airline seat, but it's more than that. It feels dangerous to not do something drastic about my weight at this point. Like, I need to make changes, and I need to exhaust every option available. So that's what I'm going to do.